Hi, I'm Ehab Jamal, and I'm going to be talking about the time value of money. Now, these slides, I created them for CFA tutoring. If you, by any chance, are preparing for the CFA, if you notice those, this is study session 2, reading 5. So pay attention to what's on the slides. Okay, let's start then. Um, well, time value of money. I mean, if you noticed from the title here, we noticed that basically we have a time and basically we have the value of money, and time is basically affecting the value of our monies. So if we take an investment, let's assume it's at T0. Okay, so we have an investment at T0. And this investment is basically $100,000. Okay, so we're going to start with $100,000 at T0. This is what we invested. Now, at T1, which is after one period, okay, the investment is now $110,000. Okay, so how much we made? What is our basically profitability? Okay, it's $10,000. So it's a gain or some kind of a profit or an increase in value. It's about $10,000. Now, if we want to express this in percentage terms, it's going to be an increase of 10%. And the way we got the 10% is 10,000, okay, divided by our 100,000. And that's going to give us basically the 10%. Okay. Now, this is basically is we started with this number, the $100,000 here. We'll call this our present value, okay, and it's PV. So this is basically present value. And at T1, this is called the future value. It's basically it's in the future. That's our future value. The number of periods we have here, we had only one period. So we moved from T0 to T1, and that's basically one period, okay? And then basically the R, or our return, is basically 10%. So now we have the 10% is called a return. Now let's take another example. Now this time it involves a bank, okay? Now we have a T0. We placed our monies in the bank at T0, okay? So let's assume it's today, and we deposited $100,000. Okay, at T1, the bank gave us $110,000. So we're going to do the same thing. The increase that we had in our monies in the bank is $10,000. We started with $100,000, okay? And that basically gave us an increase or some kind of a profit of a 10%, okay? This is 10%, it's 0.1, and 0.1 is basically 10%, okay? Now, what is our present value? This is our present value. Now, this is our future value. It's the one at T1. And notice this is only after 1 year, okay, because we deposited the money today, and after 1 year it became 110,000. So our N here, which is the number of period, we have only one period. Now our R here, we're not going to call it return, we're going to call it an interest, okay? We're going to call it interest, okay? and this interest is 10%. All right. Now, if we want to express this relationship with basically some sort of an equation, okay, rather than doing this whole thing, I can basically say that we started with 100,000, okay. We're going to put them in different colors, okay, 100,000. And then this 100,000, we multiplied it by our 10%. So multiplied by 10%, and the 10% is basically what? It's 0.1. Okay, this is the same as this one. Okay, multiplied by 10%. Okay, and that gave us what? That gave us our $10,000. Okay, and then we took the $10,000. Okay, this gave us 10,000, and then we took this number here, this whole thing, okay, and we added it up to the $100,000. So we're going to come here and we're going to say our 10,000, we added it to the 100,000, and that's how we got the 110,000, right? So let's put an equation that expresses this relationship. Our $100,000 is what? This is basically our present value. Our present value, we multiplied it with what? With basically 10%, so multiplied by R. And this, after we multiplied it by R, we added for it another time the present value. So we add the present value again. And this is basically is going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to our future value. Okay? Now, I'm going to take out of the equation the present value. So the present value out, we're going to be left with what? With R plus 1, okay? And that's basically our equation. We just took the present value out of the equation. So you take the present value here, you put it out, and then you put 1 instead of this present value, and this is your equation. So we conclude our future value is equal to our present value multiplied and to the power of n. Just hates it. Okay. All right. Now, now we learned how to get the future value. Okay. What about how to get the present value? And it's basically easy. If you have the future value and you have the R, which is your interest or your return, and you're trying to get your present value, so all what you have to do, and you have also the n here, so all what you have to do is basically divide every side, each side divided by 1 plus R to the power of n, and divide this side by 1 plus R to the power of n. So those sides are going to be equal. So this one goes with this one. We're going to be left with the present value is going to be equal to the future value divided by 1 plus R to the power of n. And this is basically my present value here. Okay, this is my present value now. So my present value, we're going to write it down again so we can remember it. My present value is equal to what? It's equal to my future value divided by what? Divided by 1 plus R to the power of n. 1 plus R to the power of n. Please remember this equation, okay? It's going to stick with you for all your life. You're going to study finance. This is the basic thing in finance, and it's going to stay with you forever, okay? Now, I guess we're running out of time, so well, thank you very much. And I'm Ihab Jamal, and I was your tutor today. And thank you for listening. Bye-bye.